Hello and welcome to today's lesson. My name is Rodolfo Novello and I will be talking to you today about ASP.NET MVC. Along with other well-known technologies such as Web API and Web Forms, MVC is part of what is known as the Web Development Framework, as far as Microsoft is concerned, of course. This framework sits on top of the ASP.NET Core framework. MVC is a well-known design pattern that attempts to promote the separation of concerns within the presentation layer. This in an attempt to discourage what is known as the development of tools-driven applications in favor of maintenance-driven applications. Maintenance-driven applications provide, at least in theory, for more scalable, maintainable, and testable applications. The MVC design pattern describes a model with data entities and a way to access them, a view which represents how the data is presented to the user, and the controller, which controls or coordinates the data presented by the model to generate the view that the end user receives on his end. Let me show you a simple example of an MVC application by creating a new MVC project in Mono or Visual Studio. We select ASP.NET MVC project, we click Next, and we don't want web APIs or the unit test project, so we click Next. We give it a name. Let's call it MVC Intro, and we create it. After a few seconds, it tries to add the packages, or it adds the packages that it's going to need for Razor, MVC, and web pages. So we click Accept, and we have an application that will run. If we run it, we will see something. But let me talk about a couple of the files and folders that it has created. The main folders are the controllers folders, the models, and the views. The models, we don't have any data models yet. We will create a small little model before the end of this video, so you see what I'm talking about. The system, actually, Mono Develop creates a home controller and the index for the home controller. Microsoft Visual Studio, last time I used it, it did not create either of them. So we are one step ahead of Microsoft here, and let me tell you what they are for. The index is just a plain HTML file with a couple of keywords here: add view data, and some information over here. Something important to see is that now, by convention, when we have a controller called home, there is a view or a set of a folder called home, also with a set of HTML files for the different types of verbs that we're going to be using against the data that this view controls. So in this case, we have home, and there's the index, which we're looking at. And so if we were to run this, let's change this to say hello intro, welcome ASP. So let's run the application and we'll see what's going on. Okay, so welcome to ASP.NET MVC 5.2, which is what we have here. Okay, a couple of things that I like to mention are, you see right here under shared, we have the view start, which is a shared file that is used by all of the views, that calls for the utilization of the underscore layout.cshtml. Let me show you what that is. Layout.cshtml has a head, a body. It's an HTML document that is shared by all views. And you see this render body is where everything that we have under index is rendered. So whatever we put in here will be rendered in this side of the of this document. Okay, one thing to notice is this. You see this keyword view bag followed by the or preceded by the @ sign. The @ sign is in Razor code is an access to C# commands or information. Let me show you something here. We have it right here also. Let's go to the home controller and let me show you where those that view data is being declared. Right here, view data, version, and we get the version number, view data. Let me add another one. Let's call it view data, and let's call it my edition 1. Okay, and let's give it a. This was added by us. Okay, so we should have access to view data that's inside of the index. This is how we transfer information between the controller and the view. So right here, let's add an H3, and let's put that in there. So let's see what happens. Close those. Okay, something happened here. Let's see. I forgot the @ sign. Let's go back to it. Yes, sir. Got the @ sign. And run. And let's see what happens. Okay. So here we have transferred information between the controller and the view. There are a few ways to transfer information between the two. Let me show you another one that's very popular. It's called the view bag. The view bag allows us to create properties. Let's call it my property, and we can also give it values. So we can call it, this is my property. Okay, and we're going to, let me show you how to use it when it comes over here. Let's add another H3, and right here we're gonna grab the view bag dot, what was the name of it? My property. Let me copy and paste my property, and let's see what happens. Okay, so we can see, it went away, but right there. Okay, so we have transferred data between the controller and the view in two different ways. There is a third way that is the, of course, the preferred way, because you can transfer data types, strongly named data types, between the two. For that, we are going to create a model. What I'd like to show you is how we can define our data models using an empty class. Of course, let's call it MVC model. Okay, so we create a new class, and let's create a public class. And now in here, let's create a static member, public static method that's going to return a list of items. It's going to give us an error because we don't have the right. We'll fix it real quick. Item get items. Okay, that is going to return a list of items. Right here, let's quick fix using system collections generic. Okay, and right here we can say var actually list items item it's going to be variable items equals a new list of item. List of item. And we're going to populate it. Okay. With a new item. Okay, what is not working here? New list of item, and we want to populate our data. It's here. So, okay, so we are populating our list of items so we can present them in the index view. So right here, let's put in a couple of values. ID equals 1, name equals chips, quantity equals 7, and let's add another one, a new item that we're going to populate with ID equals 2, name equals cheese. Okay. So, and then we return the list of items. Return items, which is a list. Okay, so now we have a way to get information from our database. So if we go back to the index, actually we go to the controller. Okay, in the controller, we need to declare a variable. is going to be equals to our MVC model. And let me see, we don't have access to our MVC models that, let's see, MVC models that, okay, let's fix this, quick fix. Now we need access to this right here. So I can fix it real quick using models. So right here, the name of MVC model. MVC model dot get items. That's going to give us a list of items that we are going to transfer to the view index via this result. So right here we are going to transfer list of items. Okay, now index will be able to read that, but there's one step that we need to put it in here. You say model, we're gonna get a list of model MVC model.item. So let's run it again and hopefully it will work this time. Close that, and there we go. So we have everything that we expected to have, and let me show you right here. Let's stop this, and you can see under layout, let me show you one more thing. Right here under the title, let's add the word hello, and let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, you see that is the title of the tab of our page. Okay, so, and that is the header of the document, and the body, everything is rendered over under here. So let's stop right there, and we're going to improve on this, and hopefully I'm not getting you too lost, but we're making some progress. Thank you.